What's up, everybody? So it's been a minute since I've made another video, but let me tell y'all, let me just be honest, this quarantine stuff got to you, girl. I'm so used to being busy, running around everywhere, doing a whole bunch of stuff, and so, you know, me being able to just sit in the house all day was a little bit too much for me. But I had to do my self-care routine. I had to love on myself a little bit before I could post another video, and here I am. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take both of your hands and I want you to wrap them around yourself and just hug yourself. Just tell yourself, look how far we made it. Just tell yourself, I'm doing this. Tell yourself, I'm able, I'm capable of making it through this time. And just be proud of yourself for getting this far. We're in like day 165 of this quarantine, and I think a lot of times we don't really appreciate all the work that we've done thus far. So I really want you to appreciate yourself, to love on yourself. And if you're finding a hard time doing it, let me do it for you. You're amazing, you're capable, you're great. You've made it thus far. You still have your sanity, you're still smart, you're still worth it, you're still worthy. I'm so proud of you for making it this far. So big ups to you, congratulations, and keep pushing. All right. That's some of the things that I have to tell myself during this time, because it feels like because everything is closed, nothing's really happening sometimes. I'm gonna just be transparent. Sometimes I could get down on myself and be like, man, girl, you really not doing much of anything. But there's a lot of things to do. But sometimes when you have those negative self talks, or you have those negative thoughts, like we mentioned in the first video, it's really difficult to automatically go into the positive. But that's what you have to do. You have to automatically, when you have those negative thoughts in your head, like, maybe I won't apply for school because I'm not the smartest. Maybe I shouldn't apply for that job because I'm not qualified. I need you to go right into the positive self-talks. And I'm going to show y'all something, because I know a lot of times it is difficult, but this is what I do. These are my scriptures, and so I will write my scriptures, the scriptures that tell me about myself and tell me who I am in Christ. I will write them on a post-it, and then I'm sticking them on my closet door, because my closet door is one of the first things that I see when I wake up. So do that. You could write positive things about yourself. If you don't want to write scriptures, write I'm beautiful, write I'm worthy, write I'm capable. Write something that will remind you of your value and your worth, because girl, boy, man, woman, it could get difficult during this time. It really can. And so I'm not here to say that it's super easy, because what happens when we're in a place in a place where we don't know what's next, it could bring about fear, it could bring about anxiety. But I need you to focus on the things that you do know. And what you know is who you are, what you're capable of. So that's what I want you to focus on. That's what I want you to remind yourself throughout this time. You got this. And if no one tells you, I'm going to tell you, you got this. All right? So together, we will get through this time. Together, we will make it out of this better, stronger, wiser, smarter than when we went in this, okay? So we got this. We got this. That was not my topic, but I felt like we need that. We need that. Encouragement is needed during this time. So that's why I'm sending out love. I'm sending out positivity. I'm sending out hope. I'm sending out peace. Even through the video, because we need it. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna be in your ear, and I'm probably gonna get on your nerves on your phone or on your television, wherever you watching me from, because I'm going to constantly remind you of your worth. And so even when you don't feel like you're worth it, you are worth it. You are doing this. You are capable. You got this. And so I'm going to just keep telling you every time that you got it. You could do it. All right. So today we're going to talk about grief. Grief is one of those things that most people know about but really don't want to talk about, okay? Because grief, usually when we're grieving, it's due to the loss of someone or something. Yes, we could grieve over losing things as well. And so COVID-19 has brought about a season of grief. And grieving is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people are like, ooh, the word has a negative connotation, but the denotation of it is not a negative thing, okay? So grieving is just going through the process after you have lost someone or something. What process? So science, there is a theory of grief and loss, and then that states there are 5 stages to grief, okay? I will go over these stages with you, but what I want you to keep in mind is everyone grieves differently, okay? Some people go through all the stages. Some people don't go through most of the stages. Some people stay in a stage for a very long time. Some people move through each stage very quickly. But I do want you to remember that everyone grieves differently, okay? So although science may say this is how grief looks, there is also evidence to prove that grief doesn't look exactly like this box, okay? So the first stage that they say happens during grief is denial. So at the start of when you find out that you've lost someone, or at the start of when you find out that you lost something, it is said that denial is one of the stages. Denial and isolation, okay? Then the next one is anger. And I'm looking at my notes as well, you all. Sorry. And then the third one is bargaining. The fourth one is depression. The fifth one is acceptance, okay? And so that is the last stage, acceptance. People who are grieving do not necessarily go through the stages in order, okay? So you could see someone who's grieving and they probably accepted it first, okay? And then they probably went through the process of denial. That's okay. I just want you to remember that you have to go through, you have to grieve, okay? Give yourself that room to grieve. A lot of times we are hard on ourselves, especially when it's a feeling of sadness or when we're going through a process after we've lost something. I know for me, I'm like super hard on myself, like, all right, girl, you got to get it together. Hurry up. But God, and I'm going to go there, God also wants us to go through that process. So once you go through that process, you will heal in that process. If you try to suppress your feelings during your grieving season, if you try to say, oh yeah, it's not that bad, oh no, I won't think about it, but you really are thinking about it, or no, I don't want to talk about it, but you really do need to talk about it, when you try to repress those feelings, that's when it becomes detrimental to your life. Any feelings, any hardships that you try to suppress can become detrimental to your life. You have to go through it. You have to go through it, okay? So when I know in this time, I will use this example. A lot of us have lost jobs. We've lost loved ones. We've lost, we lost the communication or the personal, the communication with our family and friends. We're unable to go see them. So we lost our mobility in a way. And so this is a really tough time for for a lot of people, for all of us, right? But if we didn't go through the process and we try to suppress those feelings, we try to hide those feelings, we try to just get up and act like things were normal when they weren't, then we'll find it more difficult to process through this moment, because we don't know how long this is going to last. There's multiple dates out there of when this is going to be over. But I want you to accept it. I want you to hey, I want you to go through the stages: acceptance, denial, being angry, but don't let the sun go down on your anger. That's why I want you to process it. If you don't properly go through the stages, you will remain stuck for a very long time in one phase, okay? And that's the essence of the 5 stages of grief. You got to go through it. You have to process it. You have to say, okay, yeah, my day doesn't look the same. Yeah, my life won't look the same. Yes, I've lost my job. Yes, I don't know where the next bill is. I don't know where the next check is coming from for that bill to be paid. But process it. And if you need someone to process it with, find that wise counsel. It is very important in this season that we only put our ears to positivity, because a lot of negative is being done, a lot of negative is being said, and that can hinder the process of your grieving, okay? So you have to find that positive, wise counsel that is going to help you properly process through this moment. I think the biggest mistake that we make is we team up with people who, especially when we're feeling negative, we team up with people who are negative, right? That is the worst thing that we could do for ourselves. We have to know, I have to be willing to accept that, hey, Kayla is not being that positive right now. Let me go to someone who is positive, okay? Because if I team up with someone who's negative Nancy, just like Kayla is being right now, all that will fuel is more negativity, okay? So you have to feed yourself positivity. Speak those things. That's why in the beginning I did positive affirmations. You have to speak those things. You have to speak the positive words. You have to speak love. You have to speak joy to yourself, okay? And you have to find people who will speak it to you as well, all right? During this season, we don't want to get in a place of negativity. That is the biggest thing. During the season of grief and loss, where we're losing things, where we feel like, we don't know what's going to happen next, where we're losing loved ones, we have to feed ourselves positivity. And we have to be around those people. We have to find those people who will speak positive to us, okay? I just want to say this. Be selfish about your mental health, okay? If in this season, especially if you're grieving, in this season, if you know that there's someone who is weighing on you, and what I mean by weighing, they're a weight, they're dragging you down, and you already feel down, and then you get with this person, you're like, dang, you're a weight. You have to know when to stop the conversation with that person, when to limit the conversation, the interaction with that person, right? Because you need someone who's going to lift you up, all right? And I'm gonna share with you all some of the things that I've done during this time that helped to lift me up, and hopefully it will be of help to you. But I also want you to find things that will lift you up, so everything that I do may not be for you, and I understand that, but I'm here to just share with you some of the things that I've done in this moment. So in the beginning, I did talk about how, it took your girl a long time to make another video. Well, I'm gonna be honest, losing the ability to go to school, losing the ability to go to work, losing that in-person connection with my colleagues, with my coworkers, with my family, it was difficult, okay? So I'm here to give encouragement. The show is about elevating the mind, and at the moment I was like, I'm in a rut. I feel like I gotta do something to get myself out of this rut. So I had to go back to my self-care practices, and I unknowingly stopped those practices, and I began to allow the negative thoughts to overtake me. So what I did was, one of the few things that I do to get myself back into the positive affirmations, back into the positive thinking, is I pray. Now, I know everyone on here may not be saved. That's cool. You I mean, whatever religion you are, I'm not here to knock that, but this is what I do and this is what helps me. I prayed. Praying takes my mind off of everything that's wrong, because for me, prayer is a communication with the one who is above, who Abba, my Father, who brings good things, who brings good vibes, who brings positivity, who brings love, who brings joy. So when my mind is focused on my prayer to my Father up above, I have peace, I have joy, and I go into a place of gratitude with my Father during my prayer time. So a lot of times, sometimes I do ask for things, but most of the time I'm just like, thank you. And I'll begin to, because prayer is my moment where I do thank God. It's like automatic, when it's automatic, thanks be unto God, thank you for my life. It's automatic because that's just what I practice. So yeah, prayer is one of the things that I use. The second thing that I used is reading my word, reading the Bible. So reading the Bible, reading in general, but my Bible, it has great tools for my life, okay? So my Bible has positive affirmations in it. My Bible tells me not to worry, not to fret. It just gives me that reassurance. And so it helps to drown out my own negative thoughts, okay? So reading the Bible is another important tool that I've used throughout this season. And I've gotten stronger in reading my Bible, which helped so much, because when I have a moment where my negative thoughts try to overtake me, I bring those things back into subjection according to the word that I've been studying, according to whatever I read that morning, whatever I read that night. I bring those negative thoughts under subjection. What else have I been doing? Listening to music. Oh my goodness. And so, like I said in the beginning, we have to watch the connections that we make in this season. And if you feel like it's a negative connection, you need to try to limit that interaction with that person, or just know that this isn't for me right now. And hey, we're probably not going to talk as often as we used to, because I need positivity. When it comes to music, it's the same thing. You have to find positive music, because they're literally words. It's repetition of words that's being spoken into your ears, into your soul. So you have to find that positive music that will speak life, that will speak joy, that will speak peace. Whatever that may mean to you, find that genre of music, find that song that you could play, and every time you play it, it just automatically brings you peace, brings you happiness, helps you to get your day started. So I've definitely been surrounding myself with music. I love music. My family is very musical, and so that plays a very big role in my life. The next thing I've been doing is getting sleep. You have to rest, okay? A lot of times. So the number one thing that anxiety, fear, grief, all these things, labels, the number one thing that they could affect is your rest. You have to, hey, look, at a certain time, I've scheduled it. Like, if it hits 11:30, I need to go to sleep. I gotta rest. And then I schedule the time that I wake up as well. Girl, you gotta wake up at 8 a.m. All right, because in this time we could get so complacent with just going. Oh, we don't have to go to school, we don't have to go to work, we don't have to do, all I'm doing the next day is staying in the house, so let me stay up all night. No, allow your brain, allow your body to rest, okay? Don't just stay up all night watching television, because a lot of times what's going into our eye gates, we have to be careful of that too. So don't just stay up watching TV, Netflix, Hulu, all those other things that we have. Go to sleep. Give yourself time to rest in peace, okay? So that's another thing I've been doing. I've adjusted my sleep schedule. Like, I've literally scheduled a time. Okay, Kayla, you need to go to sleep. And I'm still in school, so I do have a lot of work. And in the beginning, I was like, ooh, I got to get all this stuff done. And I wasn't resting. And then I get up the next day, I get like a couple hours of sleep, get up the next day, and I'm like, I don't feel good. You have to sleep. Your body needs rest. It was a study that proved the less sleep you have, the more stress your body is under. The more stress your body is under, the higher chance you'll have of having high blood pressure, having a heart disease, having depressive symptoms. So you have to allow your body to rest so it could fight off any disease, fight off any mental illness, fight off any negative self-thoughts that you might have. Your body you have to allow yourself that time to recuperate your body, okay? So rest is another thing. Another thing I've been doing is exercising. And shout out to my girl Chantel Plus and Fit on YouTube. Go follow the channel because she has been keeping me on top of my exercising routine. And honestly, exercising is a great way. It is scientifically proven to relieve stress and anxiety. Exercise, work out. Because when you're working out, it's really difficult for you to be thinking about all the 50 million things that are wrong while you're running and while you're working on cardio. It's very difficult because you're focusing on the movement, okay? So yeah, exercise is another thing that I've been utilizing, which has been super duper helpful. And those are just some of the few things that I've been doing. I've kept my routine, my daily routine. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I pray, I read my word, I work out, I take a shower, and then I start my homework. I get started with school, and then I do school. I eat lunch, and I take a little break after lunch, and then I get back to doing some more homework or whatever. And then by that time, it's usually time for me to get ready for bed. I may read one of the books that I have to read for school, or I may read some other type of literature, and then I lay myself down and I go to sleep. Get a routine. Get a schedule. It is so helpful. It will be so helpful to keep your mind focused on what to do next. And so you may say, hey, I don't have that much to do in my day. There's so many things that we can do. There's so many things that we can do in this time, even in your home. So maybe that could be the first start of you making your schedule, coming up with some things that you can do in your home. So whatever that may look like for you, I encourage you to do that, okay? That's basically it. Like, I just wanted to encourage you all during this time. And I don't want you to feel like, man, I ain't doing much No, if you know that it is for you to rest in this season, you need to rest. You need to figure out what will help your body function, your mind function to its highest potential, okay? And that's all that I could pray that you all do. That's all that I hope and pray that you all get accomplished during this season, okay? Just really finding that peace during this season and just really doing those things that help you stay sane, okay? And grief is a real thing. We have to go through our grieving process, but just know on the other side of grief, there is something greater, okay? And just know during your moment of grief, you are gaining strength and you are gaining knowledge to help someone else, all right? So I want you all to stay encouraged. I love you, and I thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for the next video, all right? Remember, keep your mind elevated.